Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the StackLeague Mozilla Philippines Community Tech Session. I'm Casey Kalunod, and I will be your host tonight. We have an amazing resource speaker for the session tonight who will share with us all about Firefox Developer Tools. But before anything else, we'd like to give you an overview of StackLeague, especially if it's your first time to join a StackLeague event. Everyone, please help me welcome Mr. King Bartolome, our growth associate.
Thank you, Casey, for introducing me. Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is King Bartolome, one of the growth associates in StackLeague. Tonight, I will be giving you a brief introduction to StackLeague. So, StackLeague is the Philippines' first year-round competitive programming league with the mission to develop programming leaders that inspire a nation into coding. StackLeague, which is powered by StackTrack's fully automated talent analytics and assessment platform, to which StackLeague will then gather thousands of IT students and professionals to compete and rank amongst the best programmers in the country. For those who are wondering, what are the benefits that you can leverage when you join StackLeague? So since StackLeague is a competition, StackLeague, which was launched last March 16, is a pioneering programmer league gathering over 5,000 tech talents across the country to test their coding acuity with the promise of nationwide recognition, thousands of prizes, hundreds of tech job opportunities, and invitation only events. Also, we have a cash prize from 200,000 pesos. The cash prize is now at 300,000 pesos and it continues to increase. Of course, Stack League wouldn't be possible without our partners. We have JobStreet, our co-presenter. We have gold sponsors, Microsoft, Workbank, and Viber. For our silver sponsors, we have AWS and Caliber. For our bronze sponsor, we have Accenture. And for our media partners, we have Inquirer.net and SparkUp. Of course, we'd also like to thank our community partners who help the league reach as many programmers in the country as possible. Here are the community partners that we have. Moving forward, for those who are new at Stack League, this is how the ranking system works. So you will start at the bottom with 0 points. You solve as many challenges as you can and you will earn points. The more points you get, the higher your ranking goes and the more opportunities are unlocked for you to access. For the programming languages, these are the supported languages or programming languages of the league. We have JavaScript, Java, Python, C Sharp, and PHP. Just to share to everyone, one of our highlights of Stack League is the weekly ranking and treasure chest. It opened last September 5, and Stack League treasure chest for team category is still ongoing. Team category was launched last July 11, and now you can compete with a team consisting of 3 to 5 members for points and prizes where your total points or the total points of the team is the sum of all individual points earned by each member. And for individual players, Stack League playoff season has started last September 5. Here's a short clip for you to see. Moving on, Stack League Playoffs is a single elimination tournament featuring all monthly qualifiers. So all the weekly top 10 Stack League participants will automatically be invited to the monthly qualifier rounds. And our first monthly qualifier round will be on September 27. So if you're not yet part of the weekly top 10, this week will be your last chance to earn your slot. If you want to learn more, visit stackleague.com. And that sums up an overview with Stack League. Back to you, Casey.
Thank you, King, for giving us a short introduction of what Stack League is all about. So, if there's anyone here interested in joining, please visit our website. So, Before I introduce to you our speaker, may I remind everyone that if you have any questions for our resource speaker this evening, you can type them in the comment section. We will address them later at the Q&A session. Now it's time to introduce our speaker this evening. He is a Mozilla Reps mentor and tech speaker based in Makati City. He currently leads the localization efforts of translating Firefox and other Mozilla products and services to Tagalog, Cebuano, and Hiligaynon. In his free time, he writes for the Manila Bulletin as tech news columnist, and he is currently the Mozilla representative, mentor, and tech speaker from Mozilla Philippines. Let's all welcome Mr. Robert Bob Reyes. Welcome, Sir Rob. Welcome, Sir Bob.
Hi, good evening. Kumusta kayong lahat dyan? Thank you for having me. Thank you to our friends at StackLeague for inviting Mozilla Philippines Community to be part of this endeavor. So to all our viewers, yeah, good evening. Just stay put wherever you are. If you have questions, I'll try my very best to entertain them after my talk. Okay, so let me again introduce myself. My name is Robert Bob Reyes. Okay, so maraming Robert Reyes out there. So yeah, you may call me Bob. I'm a Mozilla Reps mentor and tech speaker based in Makati City. Been doing this thing since 2011. I also write for the Manila Bulletin as a tech news columnist. If you're following Manila Bulletin in social media, chances are you saw some time Bob Reyes, that would be me. And I've been using Firefox since version 1. Okay, so for those who are using Firefox, thank you to the Firefox fans out there. Okay, comment lang kayo dyan. Okay, kaya lang wala akong premyo ngayon. Utang muna yung premyo. Okay, so what else? So I will make this session rather interactive. So if you have a spare device or a tab in your computer, okay, what I want you to do now is go to menti.com, or if you have a QR code scanner, just scan this, okay? Go to menti.com and enter the code 28067278, okay? So I have a question there. What would you describe yourself? Are you a developer professional, a developer student, or simply feeling developer? Okay, so let us see. Okay, what is the composition of our audience for today, for tonight? Okay, let me see how many are two Firefox tulutan there. Can you please bring up my slide, my screen there? Okay, so far, so many are student developers, so I'll give you 45 seconds more. Okay, so just go to menti.com, enter the code 28067278. So let's see. So nasa yung mga ayun, professional developers. Cool. Okay, so that I will know if there will be more students. I will know what demo will I be doing later. And I see that some are from Biliran, Cebu. I saw someone from Zambales earlier. Okay. Oh, yung mga taga Gordon College, kumusta kayo dyan? Okay. 30 seconds. Okay, habol lang. So just take note of that. Feel free to answer the survey. This is just a quick survey. So all throughout my presentation, I will have a couple of this, so that I will have to get I will be able to gauge the audience for tonight. Okay, that's something hard kasi pagka hindi face to face, di ba? Parang yeah, we are getting used to something like this, and hopefully soon we can be face to face again. Okay, cool. So many of the attendees now are actually student developers. Okay, cool. So I'll be bringing back my slide. Okay. There. Okay. So let me introduce our organization. Many people know what Mozilla is, but not many people know what we really do. Okay. So first things first, a little bit of history. Mozilla came from this browser. So if you are way too young, okay, maybe you read or had known what this browser is. So this is called Netscape. So we started with Netscape. Netscape was a browser, and it was popular during that time because you have not that many choices then. It's either you use Internet Explorer or you use Netscape, and basically the rest are minority. And from Netscape, we came with a project. It's called the Mozilla.org project. It's actually the giving away of the source code of Netscape Communicator to the entire world for free. So imagine going to a fast food restaurant, you order for a burger or a chicken meal, and the crew suddenly gave you the recipe for that meal. Okay? It's similar to that, and it is not popular during that time. Nowadays, open source is pretty much a regular thing, okay, when it comes to the internet and when it comes to software development. In 1998, it is not the norm, okay? So Netscape was one of those companies who thought that giving away the source code of their product will be an awesome thing. And up to now, if you are using Mozilla Firefox, cool. You are actually using something like that came from Netscape. Not many people know that we are a nonprofit organization. Okay. So Mozilla is a nonprofit organization, and as a nonprofit, we have a mission. What is our mission? We can summarize it in three things. One, okay, so we are building a better internet. Two, we want to ensure that the internet will remain as a global public resource that is open and accessible to all. And lastly, we want to have an internet that truly puts people first so that individuals can shape their own experiences, so that they can feel empowered and safe, independent online. So anywhere in the world when there are issues related to openness, accessibility, net neutrality, and all of this stuff, Mozilla will always be in the forefront. This is our mantra. We always say that we are committed to you, the users of our products, the users of the web, so that your privacy and having an open web is always protected. And we cannot be true to our mission without our products. We are best known for Firefox. So this is the software that is designed to protect your privacy. So this is the Firefox family of products. Don't you worry, the swirl, the circle, will not replace the Firefox logo for the browser, okay? So the one with the circle logo denotes the Firefox family of products. So these are the different Firefox family of products. We have the browser, Lockwise, Monitor, etc. We also have Firefox for mobile, be it Android or iOS. And this is the current version. For those who are using Firefox, thank you. If you're not using Firefox, I encourage you to give it a try. And hold on, there, okay? We also have this relay service for email. It's called Firefox Relay. So what does it do? If you really need to give your email address to a website that you do not trust, what you can do is go to relay.firefox.com, sign up, and from there, you can generate a relay email address. It's like an email forwarder. You only need to give that relay email address to the website or to an individual or organization that you do not trust, and all the emails will be sent to that email address and eventually forwarded to your real email address. By using that, these people will not know what your real email address is, but you will still receive the email, okay? So just as clever as that. So that's one way of protecting your identity online. And this is a free service. We are also building something related to machine learning and AI. So it's called Common Voice. And weeks to come, we are going to have events at Mozilla Philippines Community related to how people will be able to participate and build Common Voice for the local languages. Okay, now on to the real stuff for my talk, okay? So the second survey, do you know Firefox Dev Tools or Firefox Developer Tools before today? So what I want you to do is go to menti.com again, enter the code 11666426, or simply scan the QR code on the screen, okay? So go to menti.com, then enter 6426, and I'll be giving you 1 minute, okay, to do just this. Hopefully, you are safe wherever you are, you and your loved ones. So let's see. Okay, I'll be switching to the results. Okay. Hopefully, many people know or had heard about Firefox Dev Tools already. Okay. Hopefully. Okay. We do not know. Let's see. I'll be switching to the screen. There we go. Sana hindi kayo mahilo sa paglipat-lipat, okay? So later for the Q&A, if you will be asking in Tagalog, in Filipino, no problem, okay? You can ask anything except math. Okay? 15 seconds, okay? So not many people attending this webinar know Firefox Dev Tools. That is cool, okay? Otherwise, you will know what I will be saying, okay? 10 seconds. Okay, cool. Sige. So not many people know what Firefox DevTools is, and that is awesome, okay? Because you will be listening to my presentation. Okay. So ano ba yung Firefox DevTools na yan? Okay. If you had heard Firebug, okay, Firebug, that if you are using Firefox or even the other browser, okay, they came up with versions for other browsers years ago. So ang pangalan ng extension is Firebug. It was actually created by people at Mozilla. We incorporated the awesome features of Firebug into Firefox, okay? So kanina, kung nakita niyo doon sa slide ko, merong isang kulay ng Firefox. It is the blue one, this one, on the screen that you see now, okay? Not the orange regular Firefox, okay? This is Firefox Developer Edition, okay? So merong Firefox Developer Edition, meron pang dalawa. So merong Firefox Nightly and there's Firefox Beta. So let me go through. Ano yung pinagkaiba niyan, okay? So ito yung dalawa. So yung Firefox, when you go to firefox.com, you will be downloading the orange one, okay? That's Firefox Stable. And then there's an option for you to download the other flavors, the other editions of Firefox. So for this demo, for this talk, I will be talking about cool stuff that are in Firefox Developer. But if you are using Firefox, the stable version now, chances are it's already there, okay, incorporated. So what's the major difference? Firefox Developer, the blue one, is one version ahead of Firefox Stable. So I have a slide earlier. Firefox Stable is currently at version 92. That means Firefox Developer, the blue one, is already at Firefox 93. So what does it mean? You will be able to use cutting-edge features of Firefox that will only be included in the next version. So it's like parang you get to feel what Firefox will look like on the next versions right now, okay? And the cool thing with Firefox Developer, the blue one, is that it has its preferences set by default to the needs of developers in mind, okay? And yung pinaka gusto ng mga developers at yung mga feeling developers, it defaults to dark theme. Okay, it depends on your computer, but if you are not using a dark theme for your computer, Firefox Developer will default to dark theme. So that's one cool feature. So ano ba yung mga Firefox Dev Tools? As I mentioned, so we incorporated some tools that were being done by Firebug years ago. And these are basically web developer tools that are built into Firefox right now. All you need to do is to install Firefox, run it, and from there, you will be given an array of developer tools that you may use for your projects, okay? Yes, you don't need to install additional stuff. You just need Firefox. So what can you do with the developer tools? So these are basically web developer tools for you to examine, edit, debug HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay. So yun lang. Kasi diba, web. The web revolves around these three technologies. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So we have quite a number of core tools. So maraming tools si Firefox Dev Tools. I will just be talking about the core tools. Okay, so what are they? Medyo marami. So we have the page inspector, we have the web console, we have the JavaScript debugger, network monitor, performance tools, responsive design mode, accessibility inspector, and application panel. Let's go and check them out one by one. So the page inspector. Before the dev tools, okay, uh, what developers normally do is that they when they see cool websites, they try to copy these websites. So how do you copy websites? It's very easy. You view the source code of the website, and then it's either you copy everything or just copy portions of that website and try to incorporate it to a project or to a website that you are working on. Okay, that's the beauty of the web. Okay, you can basically copy and paste codes. Okay, we at Mozilla saw that the best thing for people to learn web development is by playing the code. If you will be playing with the code, chances are while doing the code, you encounter errors, you do mistakes, then you learn. Okay, we tried to experiment with kids years ago, including my eldest son. He was 6 that time. Up to this day, I bet he know what HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is. Though not by heart, but if he is presented and asked to create a simple web page, he learned that when he was 6. And how did we do it? Well, we presented them with code, with tools, and then we let them play with these codes. Okay. So this is the page inspector. So we use this tool to examine and modify HTML and CSS of a web page. Later, I will have a demo. You will see how it works with an example, okay? So it also is able to examine and modify or edit web pages, whether it is a local copy on a Firefox in your computer or even on a remote target. If you have Firefox on an Android, okay, that's a remote target, and we can basically edit that from our computer, given with the right permission and connection. So that is Page Inspector. We also have the Web Console. So for those geeky stuff, okay, diba, when you go to a website, ordinary people will just see that the website is loading without them knowing what really happens in the background. Okay, a lot of things happen in the background, and they happen so fast. Not many people will deal with these things that happen in the background. But if you are a web developer, if you are a software engineer, okay, these things will matter. Okay, a difference of 1 to 2 seconds in the loading time of a website will mean a lot if you are a developer. Okay, so later we'll discuss with this. Okay, so in web console, it will give you information or logs, okay, that are connected to network requests, JavaScript, CSS, security errors, and warning. Most of this, ordinary users will not see it. Okay, the beauty of HTML is that when there is an error, ano gagawin ng HTML? It will either ignore everything or will display something. Okay, so but yung mismo error bihira niya pakita with HTML. So this one, it will give you an idea kung may error, kung may warnings, etc., etc. So it also logs errors, warnings, and informational messages that are created or generated by JavaScript codes, okay, running in the page. So meron din syempre, so sinabi ko nga is merong JavaScript debugger. What is the importance of JavaScript to Mozilla? Yung JavaScript, na-invento siya ng isang engineer ng Netscape. Okay? So yun yung relevance ng JavaScript. So dati walang JavaScript, nagkaroon ng JavaScript because of an engineer sa Netscape. Later on, this engineer became part of Mozilla. So his name is Brendan Ike. So he used to be the CEO of Mozilla. So, siya yung nag-invento ng JavaScript. So, dito sa Firefox Developer Tools, actually, merong JavaScript examiner. Okay? You will be able to debug. Okay? Check the code, check for bugs right within Firefox. Okay? Pwede mo ring i-debug yung devices remotely na nakakabit sa computer mo. Okay? So if you are creating an app, a web app, and you want to debug that remotely on a device, pwede. Okay? What else? Ito, later, this one is a cool demo. Okay? So we have network monitor. So ano ginagawa sa network monitor? Sa Pilipinas, sabi nila mabagal ang internet. Believe it or not, I disagree. Okay? Hindi mabagal ang internet sa Pilipinas. I always tell people, we do not have the slowest internet. But I bet you will agree with me when I say that we have one of the most expensive internet connections in the world. Okay? So kung gusto mo na mabilis na internet, make sure that you are willing to pay more than what regular subscription packages will charge you. Okay? So, ito yung network monitor sa Firefox DevTools. It will show you the different HTTP requests that the browser or the agent is doing. Okay? So, sasabihin niya rin kung gaano katagal mag-load ang bawat component or bawat request sa isang website. So, if you have a website with so many images, with so many scripts, with many HTML tags, etc., sasabihin niya kung gaano kabilis or gaano kabagal sila mag-load. So, with the use of network monitor, you should be able to simulate different connection scenarios, okay? You can play with different codes para mapabilis yung loading time ng isang website. So, sabi nila, the attention span of people nowadays is just like something like 5 seconds. If within 5 seconds, hindi nag-load yung isang website, lalayas na yung mga yan, pupunta sa ibang website. So, ganun kababaw yung attention span ng mga tao ngayon pagdating sa websites. What else? We also have performance tools. So, this will show you, so similar to sa network, this one naman is, it will show you how long the browser takes to download the different parts of the website more in detail. Okay, so later in the demo, I'll try to squeeze something related to this. One of the best features that we had with Firefox a couple of years back when we were developing a mobile operating system was that we incorporated a responsive design mode in Firefox. So anong ginagawa ng responsive design mode? So sa Firefox responsive design mode, which is now part of the DevTools, you should be able to simulate from within Firefox how a website will look like on different screen sizes, pixel density, and kung yung device mismo has touch, okay, just like the iPods, the tablets, the smartphones, okay? So pwede mo nang i-simulate yon on how they look like and how they behave from within Firefox. You don't need a separate tool. From within Firefox, you should be able to do that, okay? How? Later, I'll make a demo, okay? And last, we have Accessibility Inspector. So the name of the game now is how accessible your website is, okay? Remember, not all people have some of the people who will visit your website have disabilities, okay? Be it visually impaired, okay? Some they need visual auditory, naririnig nila kung ano yung nakikita nila sa screen, etc. Okay? Merong mga tao they are colorblind, okay? So these are the things that that the page accessibility inspector tries to address, okay? So it will check if your HTML code complies with accessibility or if there are missing pieces that you may want to update or to rectify before going live, or even if your website is already live. So, and last, so ito pala. So, doon sa mga gumagawa ng web apps, we have an application panel. So, para saan yan? So, I bet narinig nyo na yung tinatawag na progressive web apps. okay, or more modern web apps, PWAs, if you will be creating something like that, we have a tool inside Firefox where you can basically inspect and debug it. Okay? Kung gusto mo na it is running on your computer or kung gusto mo na if it is running on a separate device na nakakabit sa computer mo, pwede yun. So this is something that we have as early as 2014, 2015 when we have Firefox OS. So we try to debug apps that we created for Firefox OS. So wala na si Firefox OS ngayon, but the open source is still there. It's called boot2gecko. Many operating systems that are in existing now for televisions, for appliances, and even some smartphones are based on boot2gecko. And we're happy with that. So last, ito, task manager. So kung ang computer mo may task manager, para malaman mo kung sino yung app na kumakain ng maraming memory, okay? Pagka medyo mabagal na yung sistema mo, meron kami sa DevTools na Task Manager. So this will tell you anong tabs or extension ang na doon sa Firefox mo ang kumakain ng energy at memory. Okay? I bet nangyari na sa inyo yun. So kung hindi pa, subukan nyo magbukas ng mga 50 or 100 tabs sabay-sabay. Okay? Tapos may nakaload na website. Depende sa configuration ng computer mo, gagapang at gagapang yan. Okay? Pero bago gumapang yan, medyo mas matagal. Hindi katulad dati. Dati, di ba? Nirereklamo sa Firefox, ayaw namin gumamit ng Firefox kasi ang bagal. Ang lakas ng kinakain na memory. Okay? Mataas yung memory na kinakain. Nag-iinit yung computer ko kasi masyadong maraming resources na kinakain si Firefox. Right now, what I can tell you is try it with the latest version of Firefox. If you are not using Firefox, just give it a try. Compare it with your current browser and tell me which fares better. Okay? Pagka sinabi mo na yung Firefox mas mabigat pa rin, we can check. Okay? Baka hindi yung Firefox ang mabigat. Baka mabigat is yung computer mo. Baka may mga naglalarong virus, malware, etc. Okay? So we can check on that. So, yung task manager ng DevTools is something useful when you try to diagnose yun. Yung mga ganong issues na bakit ang high ng CPU usage, bakit mataas yung memory na kinakain, etc. Most of the time, it's not Firefox. Okay? Most of the time, now, okay, it's either your operating system or there is a malware playing inside your system. I mentioned this remote debugging. So if you want to debug devices that are connected, like a phone connected via USB, you can use Firefox to do those stuff. Browser console, okay. Okay, here. One of the cool features, though this is not part of the Firefox DevTools per se, okay, but this was added later on, is the eyedropper. Not many people who are using Firefox know that there is actually a built-in eyedropper tool in Firefox now. So ano yung ginagawa ng eyedropper, di ba? Kung ikaw, nagagawa ng website or nagde-design, tapos may nakita ka, halimbawa, this blue, itong blue na to ng Firefox, would you know kung ano yung hex code niya? Mahirap. Kahit ako, hindi ko alam kung ano hex code niya eh. But, if I will be using the eyedropper tool in Firefox, I should be able to know what is the hex code of this particular object anywhere in the web page. Okay? Kahit anong part ng web page, pwede kong gamitan ng eyedropper for me to see and know kung ano yung hex code na ginagamit doon. Okay? So, that is something cool. Later, gamitan natin yon. Ito na, that's talaga. Okay? Screenshot. Many students, they still ask me how to take screenshots in their computers. Depende. If you're using a Mac, madali lang. If you're using Windows, not sure. I haven't used Windows for quite some time. Pero dati kasi ginagawa mo is pipindutin mo yung print screen, bubuksan mo yung MS Paint o kaya Microsoft Word or MS PowerPoint, kasi ipipaste mo doon, etc. Or you will install a third-party app that will capture a screenshot. Okay? If you want to take a screenshot of a web page, just use Firefox. Okay? So there is, just right-click and then you should be able to have a screenshot. Ganun kasimple. Ito na, yung demo, okay? So I'll be going out of this. Hold on. I will be sharing my other screen. Mahirap talaga. Pagka marami, kung may tanong kayo, just leave it in the comment box. Okay. Hold on. There. Can you see my screen? Let me check again. Can you see my screen now? Okay ba? You cannot go back to... Let me check. Okay, so kita, pati ang aking bar sa ilalim. Okay, so this is Firefox Developer Edition. So I'll just be showing to you. So this is developer. Mamaya ka na mag-update. So this is version 93.0b. Okay, 8th edition. Cool. So let me go with how you initiate and use the Firefox Dev Tools. I will be using this website, google.com, for this demo. So the simplest way is right-click anywhere and then click on Inspect. It will invoke the inspector. You see that tool at the bottom of the screen. Okay? So, tingnan ko lang kung gumana si right-click. Baka salta dito tapos hindi okay. So, I'm checking on the live feed. Okay? So, okay, gumana siya. So, itong nasa baba, basically, are the tools included in the Firefox Dev Tools. Okay? So, these are the different suite that you will be able to play with. So, isa-isahin natin. So, meron dito nakalagay inspector. So, anong ginagawa ni inspector? It will give you the source code of the website and while you hover on the source code, okay? So, lagay natin. While you hover on the source code, ituturo niya kung anong part yon dun sa webpage. Okay? Halimbawa, hindi ko alam kung sa source code kung nasaan itong button na nakalagay na Google search. What I can do is hover my mouse cursor here on this button, right click, and click on inspect. Okay? So, makikita mo dito sa inspector, nag-highlight siya. So, na doon, merong input na HTML element, okay? At na doon si Google search. So, yung value niya, Google search, I can simply double click on it. Pwede kong palitan yan. So, pwede kong palitan na Bob search. Halimbawa lang. Okay? So, pressing enter. So, I change it to Bob search. And yeah, the button is now named, it will show you the label Bob search. Okay? Don't you worry. This particular page is now cached on my computer. Hindi ko hinahack yung server ng website na yan. Okay? So everything happens inside my computer. Okay? I'm feeling lucky. I can check on it. So the value is I'm feeling lucky. So maswerte. Palitan natin. Okay? So there. So those kinds of things. What else? I'm not a CSS guy, but I just to demo how can you play with CSS using Firefox DevTools within the same pane, okay? So DevTools, I can click on Style Editor. It will give me tons of code, which is basically CSS, okay? I can add my own. So let's say I will be calling this as, lagay natin, okay? Body. Okay? So, ano meron kay body? Baka gusto kong palitan yung background ng aking web page na ini-edit. Okay? So, kita mo, may mga suggestions na siya dyan. So, you don't need to memorize everything. So, background. Palitan natin yung background. Since we're talking about Firefox, gawin natin orange. Okay? So, what happens is that, yeah, boom. You should be able to see the effects of whatever you're coding on the fly. So, ganun siya. So, yung kanina sa inspector, pinalitan natin yung kay Bob search. So, inspect. So, makikita mo doon. So, this is yon. Gusto mo siya ibalik sa Google search, di balik natin. O, palitan natin ng iba. Pwede rin. Okay? So, hanapin. Okay? So, doon. Don't you worry. Nothing is happening on the real website. This is just here on my screen. Okay? So, what else? We also have the console. So, para dun sa mga, what to call this, mga hackers dyan. So, when we say hackers, hindi na nga hack ng website. When we say hackers, these are coders, these are programmers. Okay? Yun yung original definition ng hackers. Okay? So, pwede tayong gumawa ng simple na JavaScript, and I've not been coding for quite some time. So, let's say, gagawa ko ng simple lang just to present a number and a string. Okay? So, gawa tayo ng isang variable. Ang pangalan ng variable, answer. So, lagyan natin 60. Okay? So, sabi niya, undefined. Okay lang. Sige. So, gawa tayo ng isang function. So, get answer. So, this will be a function. Okay? So, ano meron sa function na yan? Magkakaroon tayo ng message. So, I need an equal. The answer is blank. Okay? So, pwede na ba yan? The answer is blank. Yup. Okay. Tapos, I will have something like console that, how do you do that? Pagka gusto mo siyang ilabas, so we can use log. Okay. Sir, ano yung ginagawa mo? So, this is JavaScript. Okay. So, ipapalabas ko yung message at saka yung variable na answer. Okay, ganun kasimple. Okay. So, and then, well, okay. So, pwede ko nang i-execute. So, get answer. So, there. So, makita mo. So, the answer is 60. So, where does the 60? 60 is yung laman ng variable ko. And then, I have a text. I have a string here. The answer is space. So, it's that. Okay. So, ganyan. So, that is a JavaScript console. If you are into these things, we don't need to go out of Firefox. Pwede na. So, debugger, same. So, if you have a file or if you have an existing package na JavaScript, gusto mong i-edit, pwede rin dito. Okay? But right now, I don't have the luxury of time. Baka abutin tayo ng 7:30 just for JavaScript. So, basically, you will get the idea. Okay? What else? Oh, to. The network. Okay? Yung network dev tool is something that you can use to simulate and to know how fast a website loads. Itong google.com, mabilis. Okay? So, sabihin niya, bawat component, so, nakita mo lang dito is google.com, but in actuality, maraming components yung website na niload niya. And sasabihin niya dito, on how many milliseconds does it take for it to be loaded. Now, okay, saan mas effective yung network tool? Pwede kang magkaroon ng throttling. So, ano yung throttling? When you click on this portion, you should see different profiles of internet connections. Okay? So, ano meron dyan sa mga profiles na yan ng internet connections? So, pwede mong baguhin, kunyari, yung website, yung web connection, internet connection mo, kahit na naka-DSL ka, pwede mong gawing GPRS. So, I've selected GPRS, and from here, I'm going to reload the Google website. So, what will happen is that it may take some time for this site to load. Okay? Hindi siya ganun kabilis. So, another example, ano bang website ang medyo matagal mag-load? CNN.com. Okay? Kung naka-GPRS ka, 2G, okay? Ganyan kabagal mag-load ang CNN.com. Okay? Bakit? Ang dami niyang hinahanap na components. Okay? So, let's stop this. Medyo matagal siya. Palitan natin. Kunyari, good 3G ka. Okay? Magandang connection ng 3G mo. Naka 4 out of 4 bars ka. this is how long will it take to download and show CNN.com on Firefox. Okay? And you will notice, doon sa baba, nagbabago sila. Okay? So ano meron dyan? Pinapakita niya yung mga different components, mga images, mga JavaScript, and different CSS, etc. needs to be loaded onto the website and gaano siya kabagal or gaano siya kabilis bago nag-load. Okay? Kung merong error, makikita mo rin sa status, may pula dyan dapat kung may error. And so far, walang error. Okay? Hanap tayo ng hanap tayo ng website na may error. Iisip ako. Well, may mga nakita ko kanina kaya lang huwag na baka magalit sa akin eh. Okay? May mga error yung website sila pero makita mo diyan puro pula ang makikita mo. So, there's one red okay? So, nag-bounce something like that, okay? No, it's because it's an unsafe. Hinarang siya sa akin from my side, okay? Never mind. So, yun. So, this using the network tool sa Firefox Dev Tools, you should be able to simulate, okay? So, no throttling. So, this is my regular connection. Yeah, so medyo mabilis siya if I'm using my regular connection. Pero kung gusto mo malaman gaano kabilis or gaano katagal bago mag-load yung ginagawa mong website on different scenarios, let's say naka-mobile lang siya, so you can use throttling. I made a demo of style editor already. Performance, it's okay. It's like it will capture and show you a detailed report of how a website behaves. Okay, and since we are already at the CNN website, I'll be using this as an example. Okay, so I will click on start recording at the performance tab. Okay, I will reload the website. So it's reloading, regular connection, and then I will capture. Okay, it will give me this detailed report. Okay, what will I see there? Okay, you should be able to see the different parts of the website. Marami siyang scripts. Okay, here on top, you should be able to see gaano siya kabilis from the connection side, from the rendering side. Okay, we should understand that web browsers are just renderers. They render websites, okay? Yung documents, yung web pages, okay? So, it will give you an idea if there's a bottleneck somewhere, okay? As you hover, it will tell you, okay? Okay, yung JavaScript parsing niya medyo takes time, okay? So, doon nagkakaroon ng bottleneck. So, if you are a software engineer, if you are a web developer, you will know saan mo pwedeng i-improve yung ginagawa mo na website, okay? So that is for the performance tool. Same with memory. So here, it will tell you kung anong part, okay, saving there. Anong part ng website, okay, merong problema when it comes to memory, specific na part ng web page mismo, etc. Okay? For storage, it will tell you kung saan naka-store, saan galing yung mga cookies, cache storage, okay? Hindi lahat ng nakikita mo sa isang website galing sa isang server lang. Chances are they are using caching servers, okay? Or different sources, okay? Accessibility, if you have accessibility issues, it will tell you, okay? And for application, this one, if you want to debug an application, a web app on a different device, this is the thing that you will work. So, yung mga nakarinig na ng terms like service workers, okay, progressive web apps, etc. Ayun siya, okay? So, ano pa? Okay. So, yung kanina, balik tayo kay Google. So, may nabanggit ako tungkol sa responsive design mode, okay? So, ano ba yun? So, this is the website as seen on my computer. So, I'm using a desktop computer. Okay? So, pwede kong i-click itong button dito. So, it's for responsive design mode. Magbabago yung itsura niya. Patayin ko muna yan. Okay? So, this particular tool will give you the ability to simulate different devices on how will your website look like, okay? Without leaving Firefox. Okay? So, pwede mo i-click dyan. So, this one is how google.com will be shown if you are using an iPad Pro. Pwede kong palitan yan. Ano magiging itsura niya pag gagamit ko ng Samsung Galaxy S9? Ano magiging itsura ng same website if I'm going to use a 4K Ultra HD television? So, sobrang laki. Okay? Okay? So, ano ang magiging itsura niya kung gagamit ako ng iPad mini? Ano ang magiging itsura niya kung gagamit ako ng iPad mini pero naka-landscape? So, etc., etc. So, pati Kindle. Okay? So, this will give you an idea kung yung website na ginagawa mo is mobile responsive. So, yun ang ibig sabihin natin ng mobile responsive. The appearance of the website changes and it adapts on different screen sizes. Pwede mo ring malaman kung how about kung yung ginagamit na laptop is merong touch. There are computers now na merong touch screen. So, pwede mo siyang i-simulate dito. Okay? So, yan. So, I'm trying to simulate, I'm trying to test the website. Kunyari, gumagamit ako ng touch. Okay? Yan. Pwede ko rin gamitan ng throttling. So, same with the network tool kanina. Okay? So, pagka halimbawa, gumamit ako ng, I want to see how the Google website loads on 2G. So, let's see. Refresh. So, medyo siya mabagal. Google na nga lang yung ilo-load mo. Pag naka 2G ka, mabagal pa. Okay? So, makita mo doon, touch is enabled, etc. Okay, doon. Okay, cool. Home. Okay, so let's quit this. Ano pa? Last. Yeah, I said that we have an eyedropper. Okay, so from here, you can go to more tools and select eyedropper. Gusto mo malaman kung anong shade ng red yung O sa Google? So, if you initiate the eyedropper, lalabas itong magnifying glass. I-hover mo lang and then click. And that particular hex code is copied. There. So, copied na siya. So, yan yung kulay. Ganyan yung shade niya. So, it's using the eyedropper. And last is that we have the screenshot. So, just take the screenshot, right-click, take screenshot. It will ask you, do you want to take the screenshot of the full page or only that is visible? Or, pwede rin, isa-select mo lang kung anong part yung kukunan mo ng screenshot and download. Okay. I will go back here. Cool. Okay. So that's basically for the demo. And for the last part of my presentation, I have 3 minutes remaining. Okay. Here we go. So how do you join Mozilla PH? So we here in the Philippines, we are a community. We've been here for 12 years now. September is our anniversary month. So napakasimple lang. If you want to know things about Mozilla, our products, if you want to help people, okay, if you want to help us translate Firefox and other products and websites into currently Tagalog, Cebuano, and Hiligaynon, then we invite you to join us. Okay, just go to join.mozillaph.org, and from there we'll get in touch with you. Let us know which particular areas of Mozilla you wish to be part of, and yeah, we welcome all types of volunteers. Okay, whether you're a student, an out-of-school youth, you're a professional, you're a homemaker, etc. Walang problema sa amin. You don't need to be a developer. You don't need to know HTML stuff. Okay? If you want to learn, we can teach you. Okay? These are our contact touch points. We are on social media and Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And how to get in touch to me or to any of our leadership. Just go to info, send an email to info@mozillaphilippines.org or chat with us via chat.mozilla.org. Search nyo lang yung Mozilla Philippines na room. And with that, let's go to Q&A.
Thank you so much for the very engaging and informative talk, Sir Bob. So now it's time for our question and answer session. Let's go to the comment section and see our questions here. Okay, so we have one from Miss JC over here. So, Sir Bob, what is the difference between Firefox Developer and Firefox Beta? Which is more user-friendly?
Okay. When it comes to user friendliness, basically it's the same. Okay. So yung Firefox Beta and Firefox Developer, they are somehow on the same branch. Okay. So kung ang Firefox is at version 92 now, yung beta sa yung developer will be at version 93. Ang pinagkaiba lang nila is yung Firefox Developer is that it is the Firefox that is built for developers. Yung Firefox Beta, siya yung magiging Firefox stable na susunod. So, binibeta test siya. So, kung ano ang mas user-friendly, depende sa'yo. You can actually install all four. Stable, developer, beta, and nightly all at the same computer. Okay? So, pwede mong pagsabay-sabayin sila. There should be no problem. Nasa user yun eh. Kung if you are a developer, maybe what is user-friendly to you will be Firefox Developer.
Okay, thank you so much. So you can use all four.
Yep.
So why choose one if you can use all four? So it depends also on which one you would rather use.
Yes.
Okay.
For the demo earlier, I made use of Firefox Developer. I did not use my Firefox stable, though pwede kong gamitin yung Firefox stable. It is primarily because my Firefox stable is in Tagalog.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's also very interesting. So if you would like to also, because as we have introduced Sir Bob kanina, he helps translate Firefox into different languages. So if you're more comfortable using Firefox in your own language, then you can also use that. Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much for the question, Miss JC. We have from Ichigo. May bayad po ba ang Firefox developer?
Wala. Lahat ng Firefox, walang bayad.
Okay, so it's free. So
Yes,
we
it's
hope
free
you
and
can.
open source. You can actually build your own on top of Firefox if you want.
Oh, wow, that's great then. So make sure to use that to your advantage, especially if you're learning about or if you are still starting as a developer. So with the demo earlier, we've seen how easy it is to navigate. Okay, thank you. Next is from Raiden Shogun. Does using Firefox Developer affect the usage number of Firefox itself?
Oh yes, definitely. So whether you're using Firefox stable, nightly, beta, or developer, they all add up as statistics for the number of Firefox users.
So bali if you have four, if you
Uh,
use the four,
Ganito yan eh, kasi may tinatawag na metrics on activation. So if you have four, if you're just one person, maybe yes, maybe no, that it will be counted as four. So something like that.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Thank you also for the question. We have another one from Marnie Ian Kapangpangan Alcala. What is the difference of Firefox Stable and Developer Edition?
Okay, so yung Firefox stable, this is the Firefox as a consumer package, okay? So it is the latest version of Firefox. That's why it's called stable. Yung developer is a future version of Firefox that is built specifically for developers. So it will contain tools that will only be shown or will be available in Firefox stable after a version or two. So tuwing kailan nagkakaroon ng bagong version ng Firefox, right now it's every 4 weeks. Every 4 weeks, there is a new version of Firefox. Dati, it's every 6 to 8 weeks. So medyo mabilis na yung development ngayon.
Okay, thank you very much. So, do you also suggest, just to add in to the question, do you also suggest that we update every 4 weeks?
Okay, so when it comes to updating, if you are always connected, by default, Firefox will update itself. Okay,
Mm.
so by default, it will update itself. So um, it will do it silently in the background. So hindi siya basta-basta magpa-prompt na you need to restart your computer or restart Firefox to update. So what will happen is that ina-update niya yung sarili niya. Pag pinatay mo yung computer mo, the following day, pagbuhay mo and then you fire up Firefox, makita mo nag-update siya. Automatic na yun.
Oh, okay. Yes, thank you so much for that also. Next is again from Raiden Shogun. What is the best practice when using Mozilla DevTools?
Okay, depende sa developer. For me, I always tell people and especially students, the best practice when using Firefox Developer Tools is to use it with Mozilla Developer Network, MDN. Okay? MDN Web Docs. It's the reference, and developers from all walks of life will agree that it is one of the best resources and reference when it comes to web development. Okay, you go to developer.mozilla.org, use it, and use the Firefox developer tools to follow the examples and of the laboratory things in there.
Okay, so please make sure to use that one to also maximize when you want to learn more. And let's see if there are any other questions.
Sige lang.
Okay.
So yun, so yung developer network, search nyo lang, Mozilla MDN. Lalabas yun. Or developer.mozilla.org.
Okay, so make use of that website. You can visit there and explore. Okay, so I think that was the last of the question. But before we go, I have one more question, Sir Bob. You've mentioned
Sure.
earlier that your how old was your son when he started playing with when you allowed him to play around Firefox, if I remember
It
correctly?
was an experiment when he was 6.
Okay, so
He was
with
part
the
of that experiment.
oh, okay. So with the Firefox developer that you showed in your demo earlier, would you suggest allowing children to also play around with that one, to
Okay,
maybe start learning?
for children per se, okay, baka they find the developer edition too too engrossing, okay? It's too big for
Mm,
them. Kasi syempre, makita lang daming button, tapos pag kinilik nila maraming codes na lalabas. So maybe you can start with something like Timball, okay? Or
mm,
yung mga ginagawa ng sa learn to code, yung mga pambata. And then from there, pwede mong gamitin yung tools mismo ng Firefox pag tinuturuan mo na sila. Pero syempre meron niya mga may mga baseline na kailangan mo ituro sa kanila. Yung ginawa namin with my son and his playmates. So different yun, hindi sila makakilala. Is that we try to implement a curriculum wherein tuturuan namin sila mag-web development, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, without them actually knowing na tinuturuan namin silang gumawa ng website. So, yung presentation is parang laro. So, there is a curriculum which we would wish to implement that again soon. Medyo mahirap lang kasi siyang gawin pagka online eh. So, kailangan i-guide mo yung bata talaga na in
mm,
person. Pero,
mm,
we can use Firefox Developer uh, as an aid. Pero kung sisimulan mo sila mismo sa Firefox Developer, baka ma-overwhelm sila, makita nila, ano to, ang daming code. Okay? So,
mm,
step by step na ano. Kasi ang technique doon is yung hindi sila magsasawa. So,
mm.
kailangan ladderize yung
Oh.
nakikita na para challenging sa kanila. Yung mga bata, 'di ba, madali silang magsawa.
Okay, so that's a very good alternative to, because right now with kids you can I mean a lot of the children are using their tabs. They're very quick
Mm,
to somehow they're also trying to learn. So that's a very good option also to try. So make sure to
yeah.
also be there to teach them also whenever they have questions. Okay. Next is another question. How to access the developer tool po ulit ni Firefox,
Okay.
sir?
So if you're using Firefox Developer, just click on Tools sa menu. Okay? And makikita mo doon nakalagay is Browser Tools. So bago na yung pangalan. So Browser Tools na siya. Kasi sa dati nakalagay doon is Web Tools or Web Developer Tools. So ngayon ang pangalan niya na just click on Tools sa menu and then click on Browser Tools. Or if you want to invoke the inspector on any web page, just right click and then click on Inspect. Lalabas na yung inspector sa baba.
So no need to download po.
Wala na, wala na. Dati kasi you need to
Ah,
download Firebug pa. This was years ago. So everything now is included na sa Firefox.
okay. Wow. So that's very easy to use then. So you can just right click or as suggested earlier by Sir Bob.
Yup.
Next is, oh, we're having a few more questions. So
Sige
last two
lang,
questions.
go.
What is your take in responsive designing?
Okay, when you are a web designer or a web developer, this should always be in your mind to make sure that websites are responsive. Okay. When I was still teaching, I always tell my students, this is a mortal sin when you create websites. If you do not create a website that is mobile responsive, you are you are committing a sin. Okay. Remember, not all people will be viewing the website on the same device that you have used when you created them. So yung iba gagamit ng cellphone, smartphone, yung iba gagamit ng tablet, yung iba gagamit ng monitor na pagkalaki-laki, etc. So when you create websites, make sure that they are responsive.
Okay, so always make sure that it is available in all kinds of devices.
Yes.
So,
All
okay.
people, whatever device they're using, should be able
Mm,
to use and enjoy the website.
okay. Because I've noticed some websites, yung parang loading siya masyado pag sa mobile, but then on the browser, it's working fine. So,
Yes.
always make sure to may design po kayong responsive.
Imagine if
Okay.
that is your
Mm,
website, 'di ba? Pinuntahan siya ng isang user na gumagamit ng cellphone or
mm.
smartphone, tapos naglo-loading lang siya. Hindi niya makikita yung content ng website mo, so you lose one visitor there.
Okay, so it's very important. So take note.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Next is from Joko Andre de los Reyes. Does Firefox Developer Edition can be used as a default browser?
Yes. Oh, wait. If you have Firefox stable, the orange one, installed as your default browser, and then you downloaded Firefox Developer, the first time that you will run Firefox Developer, it will ask you, do you want me to be your default browser? So it's up to you. So pwede mo pagpalit-palitin. So pagka bumalik ka doon sa stable, sasabihin niya, it is not your current default browser, baka gusto mong gawing default browser. Walang problema. Kung anong type mo na gawing default browser.
Okay, so that's also a very good question. You can change.
Yup, yup.
It depends on which one you want to use at the moment.
Yes.
Okay, and let's have the last question here from Marnie Alcala. Is there another program to use in developing a website in Firefox?
Okay. So right now, I do not know any that we made, okay, aside from this. But maybe you're asking for a software that you can use to develop websites. And then the websites will basically just be using any browser like Firefox to view it, okay? So maraming tools out there. Some are free, some are not, okay? So yung pinakita kong demo kanina, these are the basic tools that we have in Firefox if you want to create websites, or if you have websites already created and you want to debug them or check them for compatibility, for if you want to simulate things, etc. Pero yung mga tools, marami. May libre, merong hindi libre. Depende kung ano ang gusto mo. Ako, personally, I can create websites using note editors, okay, or text editors, notepad, something like that. So, pero matagal nga lang, di ba? So, depende sa developer yan. Maraming tools. For sa amin, the dev tools are already included in Firefox.
That's great news then. So make sure to also use this. Thank you, Sir Bob. Okay, so I think that sums up our Q&A session. Thank you so much, everyone who sent their questions for our session today. And also, thank you so much again, Sir Bob, for imparting your invaluable knowledge with us. And to everyone who joined us this evening, we hope this has been a very fruitful session. And before we close, we have a few announcements here. Our next and last Stack League event for the month of September is the Stack League Workbank Career Session, DISC for Career Path, on September 28th at 6 p.m. Again, that's on September 28th at 6 p.m. You can find the registration details on our Facebook page. We hope you can also join us again in the upcoming event. Thank you once again for joining us at the Stack League Mozilla Philippines Tech Session. If you also know someone who should be a part of the league, invite them to register now at stackleague.com. See you at the next Stack League event. Have a good night.